It's 12 o'clock. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Starr Midday News. Coming up in the bulletin today, tension between Customs and Immigration Service following altercation between their personnel at the Kulungungu border in the Pusika district. We'll bring you more on the Starr Midday News. Also, fate of almost 6-week-old strike by members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association Ghana to be determined at a council meeting scheduled for Friday.
So we have scheduled a meeting for tomorrow. So by 9 we will meet online, and then whatever the council decides is what we shall go by. That we have withdrawn teaching and related activities does not take the teacher out of job. The teacher was still at post.
Also coming up in the bulletin, court finds Majority Chief Whip Anodompre 7,200 Ghana cedis for contempt, describing his conduct as deserving of a custodial sentence. We've got details of all of these stories and more coming up for you here on the Starr Midday News. Do stay tuned.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Thank you very much once again for joining us here on the Starr Midday News. My name is Lantam Papanko.
What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? In terms of human rights, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? In terms of human rights, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? In terms of human rights, what do you know?
You've just been listening to the altercation between some customs and immigration personnel who were engaged in a fight in Kulungungu border near the Pusika district. The clash between the customs and immigration personnel disrupted operations for over an hour. This altercation has raised questions about the interagency cooperation and the procedures for fee collection at our borders. There's more in the following news desk reports.
It allegedly occurred over disagreements concerning the payment of certain border fees. Sources at the border indicate that the altercation began when an importer from Burkina Faso refused to pay a booking fee of 5 cedis demanded by immigration service personnel. The importer had already completed all necessary paperwork with the customs division and believed that the additional payment was unnecessary. Frustrated by the demand, the importer reported the incident to the customs division. Customs personnel then approached the immigration service to facilitate free passage for the importer, arguing that the payment had already been settled. However, this intervention was met with resistance from the immigration service personnel, leading to a heated confrontation. The situation escalated into a scuffle between the two state security agencies, lasting over an hour. Despite the tension, no injuries were reported from the altercation. The incident highlights ongoing issues regarding border fee collection and interagency cooperation. This clash underscores the need for clear communication and collaboration between the Customs Division and the Ghana Immigration Service to prevent similar disputes in the future and ensure smooth operations at the border.
You've just listened to the news desk report detailing what happened at Kulungungu border at the Pusika district between the personnel of the Customs and Immigration Service. We've been joined on the phone line by security analyst Adam Buna. Dr. Adam Buna, good afternoon. Welcome to the Starr Midday News.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for your time. What would be your immediate reaction to this development, at the border at Pusika, where we have customs and immigration officials engaged in an altercation?
It's a shame. It's one too many. I think the orientation and the psyche of these our officers who are supposed to be protecting us as public officers don't seem to know their role, don't seem to know what they are doing. They don't seem to know what they are doing there. It's quite worrying that customs officials would arrogate unto themselves the functions of, immigration staff. Customs is an establishment of law or establishment by law. Immigration is the same. So customs, they are there to ensure that when you pay your import duties or export duties, you pay what you need to pay to government. Immigration, they are there by law to ensure that they are able to play their role to make sure that if you have to pay something for, as a stamp or whatever, if you are exiting or if you are coming in, and this is regulated by law, then they are mandated to do it. So I am not too sure the orientation of some, and it's one too many. You can go back to what happened recently in Baku, where military officers descended on, prison officers at the prison camp. Recently, we have the Ghana Port Authority security officers descending on an immigration lady at the port. We have had military officers, fighting police officers, and it's become too many. But it is also because we have not seen anyone getting punished when these things happen. We haven't seen it. Usually you will hear the employer saying, oh, we are dialoguing with them. No. What happened yesterday was pure criminality, or a day before was just pure criminality. The customs officers have no right under the sun to do what they did. Immigration has a distinct role that is so different from customs. So once your duties are paid, you allow immigration to do their work. You don't interfere. It's the reason why we have the controller of immigration and we have someone in charge of customs division of GRA. And so to have them actually go to say that we are done with them, to let them go, was it that the customs officers were actually hiding some contraband goods in the vehicle that the immigration officers were attempting to stop? So for me, the grandstanding and this lack of cooperation and I will show you where power lies attitude of our security officers becoming one too many. But who do you blame? You blame the employer. Because yesterday also I had the DC of the place saying that we CAM has returned to the place and we are going to sit with them to talk to them. No! Investigate it and punish whoever attempted to interfere in the work of the immigration officers. That is the only way state-mandated security officials will do their work without any interference. That's the only way.
I mean, urgently in this situation, you're calling for investigations to be done. You're calling for the people to be punished. We've seen this happen not once, not twice. These are reports that sometimes we get about, these clashes. In order to make sure that we nip this in the bud once and for all, and there's that mutual respect between agencies who are supposed to work together in harmony, what do we really need to do?
Well, I think those are some of the things I've said and reiterated. That the law must work. The police service have an act that regulates what they do. The Criminal Offences Act is one of their, books that they are, laws that they use, and they have their own service regulations. Immigration has got the same, and the military has the same. You have, they all have their own different laws. So they should operate within the remit of the law that established them. If there is any way there is a misunderstanding or someone probably is misinterpreting something, you have supervisors. Elevate it there, but do not fight, in public. Do not do that. We've seen too many. In Aflao, there was a time some cocaine was seized, and the custom officers refused to release the cocaine to the Narcotics Control Authority. And by the time they released it, we are told that a parcel got lost. So my point is that they should stop interfering in the work of state-mandated agencies. As for what we need to do, we should go back to the law that established them. Because the law has told us what they are supposed to do, and they know that by their training, this is what they are supposed to do. Don't interfere in one another. You rather would go and support, for instance, if the importer or exporter was attempting to run down immigration officers, then custom officers, you go in collaboration with them, or you catch someone, illegal immigrant, in your bid in collecting your duties, you know an illegal immigrant is trying to sneak out or sneak in, then you say, you know what, immigration, we are collaborating. I'm pointing this guy to you, arrest him. That is how far they are supposed to be working. But when you try to clearly, with impunity, interfere in the work of another state agency, and you saw them asking that the padlock should be cut. I think we don't operate with any laws. We are in the banana republic. I said people should be punished. These officers must be severely punished. If not, this thing is not going to go away today. It will go away tomorrow. You will call me again a month or two from today, and this thing we have to discuss it again. Unfortunately, because then those who are supposed to ensure that the proper thing is done are looking on and always saying that, oh, we will sit them down and tell them, don't do what you did next time. When someone else is in breach of the law, that's not what you do. Even though dialogue is important, when it's becoming one too many, ensure that stiffer punishment, are meted out to those who probably operate with impunity.
Thank you, Dr. Adam Bona, for speaking to us here on the Starr Midday News.
Thank you.
Dr. Adam Bona is a security analyst speaking to us here on the Starr Midday News with regard to that altercation that happened between personnel of the customs up there at the border. Now, the fate of about a 6-week-old strike by members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association Ghana is to be determined at a council meeting scheduled for tomorrow. Now, this follows yesterday's meeting with the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum, after an earlier directive to freeze July salaries of the striking teachers, describing the strike as illegal. Yesterday's meeting with the Education Ministry ended without a clear roadmap on the way forward, even though both parties noted that the meeting was fruitful with giant strides made. However, CTAC President Prince Obinghima noted that the future of the industrial action, which began on June 14, can only be determined by the National Council. Let's go on to the phone line now and speak to the president of CTAC, John Newton Kumi. Mr. Kumi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Starr Midday News. Hello, Mr. John Newton Kumi, if you can hear me. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Starr Midday News.
Okay, maybe you got it wrong. It's Adib Sani, security analyst. Sorry.
Right. Right. Security analyst Adib Sani. Thank you very much. There seems to have been a mix-up there. I will try and get Mr. John Newton Kumi on the line and speak to him with regard to this. But earlier when he was speaking to Star News, this is what he had to say.
Yesterday, we had a meeting with a team of government representatives, and we had fruitful deliberations, as you have earlier on indicated. However, we are only representatives of our constituents across the 46 colleges of education. So whatever information we have, being the result of that meeting we had yesterday, we need to meet the council of our association. Then after that, we will know what will happen. And so yesterday, the meeting ended around 8 p.m. In fact, it was late. We had to travel throughout the night. And so we have scheduled a meeting for tomorrow. So by 9, we will meet online. And then whatever the council decides is what we shall go by.
Topical in all of this was the fact that your July salaries, according to a directive from the ministry through GTEC, was to be frozen. Did that come up in the meeting yesterday?
Well, for us as an association, we do not see the seizure of July salary as anything that bothered us so much. We saw it as a trickle from somewhere, a needless trickle, because we are on a legal strike. So whoever is saying that they want to seize our salaries because we are on an illegal strike, at the right time, that person will have to prove to the masses and to the world. So we are not bothered. So we went into that meeting focusing not on the salary, but on the real issues for which we were invited. So for us, we are going to meet tomorrow. And whether they are going to pay the July salary or not, we don't care. We will decide and then the world will hear of what we decide on tomorrow after our meeting.
So for the purposes of clarity, as it stands now that you have yet to get into that National Council meeting, the strike still holds?
To hold seriously. And 2 days ago when they issued that threat of seizure of our salaries, we also aggravated our strike to level 2. So the level 2 we are now indicates that no college tutor to attend to any service that we have been providing. Being on strike, that we have withdrawn teaching and related activities does not take the teacher out of job. The teacher was still at post. We were rendering services, and so we have now withdrawn all the services so that we see how the colleges will run.
You've just listened to Prince Obeng-Hema, who spoke to my colleague Kojo Mensah on Starr today. Meanwhile, the Teacher Trainee Association of Ghana has been sharing the challenges they are facing as a result of the strike. Abdul Razak Swale is president of the association.
Yes, it hasn't been that easy because ever since the declaration of the strike action, students have been left their own fate with no certainty because the uncertainty in the colleges keeps being on the rise. We don't know when our teachers will be back in the classroom. We are equally left with no adults because we can't even go through your books or whatever because you don't have whatever that the reading material, the course manual. You are aware that the strike came into force on the 14th of June. That was last month.
Right.
And we just received a notice from our teachers saying that they fired the strike. That is by withdrawing all services. And this really has come to affect us much because even from the onset that the strike, they declared the strike, you can attest with me that even supervision in the colleges, some of these tutors serve as health tutors, some serve in their various capacities in the colleges. And then students are left on their own fate because there's nobody to regulate their activity.
You've just listened to Abdul Razak Swale, who is the president of the Teacher Trainees Association. Now, the High Court in Accra has described the conduct of Majority Chief Whip and Member of Parliament for Nsawam Adwajiri, Frank Anodompre, as reprehensible. According to the court, such conduct is deserving of a custodial sentence. Justice Abna Opong Ajindoku, who made this known while sentencing the legislator for contempt, however, said she will spare the legislator a custodial sentence. Now, the High Court imposed a sentence of a fine of 600 penalty units, which is equivalent to 7,200 Ghana cedis for contempt. Our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa, is joining us on the phone line to shed a bit more light on this. Mutala, welcome to the bulletin. Can you help us understand exactly what is going on here in the events that led to the Honourable Member of Parliament being fined 7,200 Ghana cedis?
Well, it has to do with the matter that has been at the court, and the court was here to make a determination out of that. And for that matter, the parties were asked to stay away. At one point in time, when officers from the court, bailies from the court, were supposed to stamp a document for an execution, the Member of Parliament is said to have unleashed some police officers on them to brutally assault and take the sample away. Those are of this that the one of the parties in the matter initiated for Parliament application in the Member of Parliament. In fact, sometime in February earlier this year, he asked to animate the offence and to adopt consent. Now, he was sentenced by after lawyers in fact made plea of mitigation, and they have to stand in the matter. Also, he said that the subject matter of the contention, the topic that they are having a dispute over, they have agreed that the Member of Parliament will retain the
Hello, Mutala. It's quite difficult grasping what you're saying. If you can reposition yourself so that we can get a clearer line to you.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better now.
So the applicant also have agreed that the Member of Parliament will retain possession of the property in dispute, and for that matter, they have come to court to ask to caution and discharging. But Justice Abna Opong Ajindoku could look at the situation and say, look, he's a member of parliament, a majority with a court. He should know how the law works. He should have respect for the law and should not be somebody who will disregard the law. The court look at the case. Look, it is a matter that warrants a custodial sentence. It should definitely attract a custodial sentence. However, the court has taken notice or indication saying custodial sentence.
Mutala, the line is breaking once more. I don't know where you are, but if you can get back to the earlier position where we had a clear line to you, that would be great.
Hello, Landon.
Yes, I can hear you now, Mutala.
Hello, Landon.
Yes, Mutala, can you hear me?
So if you can hear me, the court imposed a 600 penalty unit on the member of parliament for Nsawam Adweji, and a penalty unit is equivalent to 12 cities. So if you multiply 12 cities by 600, that is equivalent to 7,200. So he has since paid that money and has been let go.
Very well. Now, what's been happening with political activist Oliver Bakavuma's treason felony trial?
So Justice Mary Ekweyenzu today was expected to hear a motion filed by Oliver Bakavumawa and his lawyers led by Dr. Justice Fremsai. And that particular motion, what it's seeking to do is for the court to put or to hold on a stay of proceeding, because earlier the court has taken a decision not to refer certain provisions to the Supreme Court for interpretation. They say that Oliver Baka and his lawyers say that they are appealing against that particular ruling by the High Court. And for that matter, once they want to appeal, they want the court to put the proceedings on hold until such time that they are done with the issue of the appeal. Today they came to court and state prosecutors wanted to respond on the court of law, but then they make references to certain documentation and all that. And the court said, look, once you have not filed any affidavit in the position, you can't make references to those indications that you have made, because once you do that, lawyers of Oliver Bakavumawa will oppose to that, will raise objection to that. So come formally. So the court says that it is adjourning the matter to next legal year, that is October 22, within which time the prosecution is supposed to file their affidavit in the opposition. They will come and have the application moved. But of course, I have been interacting with the accused person, Oliver Bakavumawa, who is the applicant in this very matter. He tells me that, look, he wasn't surprised at all about the fact that the case was adjourned. The president and his team have actually taken out an action case which is too big for them, and he described as an indictment on justice delivery. You can take a listen to Oliver Bakavumawa after his case was adjourned today.
If anybody said they were surprised about the turn of events, then the president obviously has not been interested in our republic for a very long time. I mean, it is part of the process. We know that, you have institutions that are not committed to getting into this matter. The president and his team have gone to chew, to cut a meat that is bigger than them to chew, unable to show up at any point to put this matter to rest. And they don't have the humility to withdraw the case. But the truth is that, for me, it's a bigger indictment on our court system and even on we, the people of Ghana, that we can allow these things to happen in a democracy. I expect nothing less from the system when it has showed this. And how many years has been? It's been 3 years. We'll be going into the 4th year. So we're doing essentially the entirety of the man's term. So this is what it is.
You've just listened to Oliver Bakavumawa there. Earlier, I heard us speak to our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa. It's time for us to bring you sports, and Jones Aji is here with the details. Jones, what's up in sports?
Good afternoon. Of course, the Olympics is upon us, and then tomorrow we would see the parade happening there. So, in a show of solidarity and encouragement, Ghana's ambassador to France, Her Excellency Anna Bosman, visited the team yesterday. She emphasized the importance of their participation and the honor they bring to the nation through their hard work and dedication.
And what it means is that in your own way, you are winners. And you are representing us. You are representing Ghana. We thank you for that. We thank you in advance, because it's not easy. I've been speaking to some of my colleague ambassadors, and they've been telling me that, yes, our team, we've got 100, we've got 300, we've got 600. They thought that they were going to make me feel like this. I said, yeah, I've got a small team, but watch them, So as I say, it is not the size that matters. The size matters because they have more people to be in more disciplines. That is true. But in the discipline that you are in, all that we expect you to do is to do your best. And that's what we're praying for you, that you do your best. Give of your best. That's all you can do. Give of your best and then also.
Mustafa Yusuf has admitted that the government is facing challenges with regards to payment for completing the youth resource centers under construction, which has led to a delay in the handing over of the facilities for use.
Then in 2021, there were challenges between some of the first phase contractors and the second phase contractors. So where we had the same contractor doing the phase 1 and 2, we asked them to continue to complete it. And we all know the venues to use it. Then we have Azim also both phase 1 and phase 2, the contractors are working. Then we have who six of the 10 youth resource centers, both phase 1 and phase 2 are ongoing, and very soon we have challenges with some of them, and I must admit, with regards to payment to the contractors. Because the contractors have not handed over the project to us, you can't go and use it because we have not commissioned them.
Now to the Black Sharks. Finally, on a sad note, the Black Sharks of Ghana will be traveling to Ivory Coast by road after a flight setback, according to chairman of the Beach Soccer Committee, Yao Ambofo Ankra. On Tuesday evening, the Black Sharks team manager was informed the original promise and plan for a flight to Abidjan had been cancelled. The team, therefore, had to leave Keta immediately to Accra, where a bus had been arranged by the GFA to take them to Abidjan. The Black Sharks of Ghana defeated the Sand Elephants of La Côte d'Ivoire 5-3 in the first leg of the 2024 AFCON Beach Soccer Qualifier in Keta. The team will travel to Abidjan for the return leg on July 27.
Thank you very much. Jones Aji with the latest in sports. Now, a coalition of students studying law at the University of Ghana Law School are advocating for the curtailment of the appointment of Security and Attorney General of Ghana to aid in undertaking their duties in their respective role, devoid of political interference. The coalition is of the belief that the appointment of such officials by government is a major cause of the sluggish fight against illegal mining, also called Galamsey. Speaking at a press conference after the coalition embarked on research about the negative impact of the environment, he added that the government must declare a state of emergency against the Galamsey menace.
A lot of the rights that any individual is going to be subject to stem from their right to life. And they are in the situation where they are in a Galamsey ravished area. Their water is affected, their food is affected, the air they breathe is affected. All of these things disproportionately and adversely affect the way they live and their way of life. And believe that they are entitled to enjoy a clean environment, to clean water bodies, to potable drinking water. So we believe that by virtue of that causation or that nexus that exists between the impact of Galamsey and the adverse effect that it has on people's lives, it is something that has to do with human rights in particular, and that is what we sought out to do.
Nana Kofi Osei is a member of the Coalition of International Human Rights Law Students, and he addressed the press. Now, the coordinator for the CASA initiative, a civil society organization on the environment, Jonathan Guka, urged the students of international human rights law to mount consistency on other coalitions to halt the Galamsey activities on the environment.
On the consequences of Galamsey, they are in Accra, but as Erasto said, the impact is on all of us, where we are able to speak to TUC and all those groups that joined in the fight against Stop the Sale of Snake Hotels. Once that understanding is established, I believe it is that giving of the waiting on the political will that is lacking in the fight against Galamsey. I'm sure our leaders will seek out. So that is one of the solutions I want to propose this morning.
And that's it for the Star Midday News here on Star 103.5 FM. For more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. My name is Lantam Papanko. Have a good day.